Hey Tank, had this Cub Cadet mower. It's an LTX 1050 hydrostatic. The blades do not engage when you pull out the PTO button knob. So immediately see these wires hanging. Looks like someone has repaired this in the past. These wires go to the PTO switch. If you look on the PTO itself, if we can get our camera view up there, there are two little wire nubs right here. So what we're going to have to do is extend these wires out so we can get a good connection to this wire. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that PTO off so I can get to the wires good, make a solid connection there. So got the mower jacked up. Conveniently, this was already off, but if not, take that pin out, pull it out of here. This way the deck doesn't come up with the mower, because we want to work in this area here. So we will fix this later. I noticed that when I pulled the mower up, the deck was hanging funny. Alright, so to get this PTO off, I have to take off this bracket here, and then get under there, whatever nut that is up here, an impact wrench on that, and spin that off, and this PTO should drop right off the shaft. We'll see how that goes. Alright, I'm going to take this bracket off that goes under the pulleys. That's a 13mm nut here. So 13mm socket fits that nut, and that doesn't allow it to drop free. Let's see what's on the other side. So you can see there's another little bolt right there. We'll take that off. Also 13mm. There we go. That allows that to drop free, or at least be out of our way. Put that bolt there. Now, figure out what kind of bolt is holding those pulleys on. Okay, that's a 17mm bolt. Got an impact wrench here. Let's take on that. On there. That drops right out. We do have some tension on this belt. I'm going to go ahead and pull the belt off. I'll lower this a tad. Lower the deck. There we go. Alright, well, that came off beautifully. Okay, now we can see what we're looking at. We have these two wires which have been broken off really close. So I'm going to see what I can do about soldering some short wires to that to extend me out. Okay, so I have really short wires. The red one, I didn't have any red wires, so we're just going to use blue. This is a home project. Color code doesn't matter. It's going to go right back to another red wire here in a few inches. And then the black wire. all I could really do for a connection is make a small hook out of the wire. I'm going to solder that. I also don't have any heat shrink tubing, which would be ideal for this, so we'll have to come up with a different option for that. So, and my soldering iron is about shot. Get some a good hot solder joint there. Okay, so that's pretty good solder joints. So just gonna put some electrical tape around each one. This is so the wires, the exposed metal doesn't touch any other metal, which would be ground on that tractor's electrical system. Or if they touch each other, then that would be a short. Heat shrink would have been a better option for this, but this will work. Okay. So now we have two wires that can't touch each other, can't touch ground. Now we'll go ahead and mount this back on the tractor, and then we'll deal with the other end of these wires. So there are actually two spacers. I found another one laying on the ground. Two spacers go here. Both go on the top. Line up the keyway. There we go. Start the bolt. Yikes. So hold that up. Get the bolt finger tight. Alright, now get that lined up. Get on there. Now on this side, the bracket, there's a hole right up under that oil filter. The bolt goes into. So here's a do what I say, not what I did thing. Put the belt on now before you put that bracket on. I had to go back later and fix that mistake. Let's get it started. Alright, now we got that going. We'll get the ratchet and put on there. Good and tight, don't want it backing out later. Let's double check. Yes, it's still lined up through the slot where it goes, so we can secure it on this side right here. Now we want to make sure my wires are in a good place. They're fine. Bring them up here. Bring them up here, away from that tie rod as much as I can. Make sure there's nothing else that's gonna pinch them. Okay, now that I've got all my wires up here where I can deal with them easily, I'm going to cut off those old butt splices. 2 new ones here. So I'm going to strip the wire. If you don't know how to do butt splices, there is a video on my shorts reels called Splice Up Your Life, I think. Talks about different kinds of splices. Put that one on there real good. That's solid. Black. That's solid. We'll strip these. Twist them. If you don't know how to strip wires, I have a video called 3 Kinds of Strippers. It explains different ways to strip wires. Okay, now that is a good solid connection. Give it a little tug, it was fine. And again here. Alright, now a little close up. When you're putting on these butt splices, you want to crimp in the crimping area, not out here on the end, not too far in the middle. So each wire is crimped individually. This crimp is for this wire, this crimp is for that wire, and so on and so forth. So this is a much more stable situation. I am probably gonna grab a wire tie and snug that up. Gonna use a zip tie gun here to tighten and cut that zip tie. Does a really nice job. It cuts everything off flush so you don't have any sharp corners to get poked on later. And also it doesn't over tension the wires. It's got an adjustable tension on it so you can set how tight it pulls. That way you don't damage your wires. Okay, so that is done. All I gotta do is put the belt back on, lower it off the jack, check it out. Start it up, full PTO, see if the plates come on. That is another successful repair.